Hey, hi diddly dee. Welcome to the Lonely TARDIS, your journey into Time Lords and I gotta stop saying into Time
You
Lords and
really
space.
did. I
Come on,
thought we weren't doing that
Yes,
anymore.
it's
No,
not a good
your
look.
journey
no,
through
man.
time and space, saying hello to Time Lords along the way. We are your three wonderful companions. Somehow we fit inside a TARDIS after all the food we've been eating. I'm surprised it still manages to fit us. I've been eating a lot of food. I'm one of your lovely hosts, Dolly Demosky. You can see my name there. You can find me at Dolly Demosky on the old blue sky. That gentleman right there, Marcus Beer, who's not a happy chappy. There you go, right there. Oh, look at
And
my
we'll
fingers.
find out why when we start talking about
Yeah.
toilet.
And then the beautiful man right downstairs, Sean Norton.
Hello. I didn't know we were doing subheads. I apologize. I would have
You don't
written
have to
something
worry.
quippy.
Yeah,
I will do it
we're
next week. I will do it next week.
controlling Sean. I like that the marionettes.
Yeah.
Gentlemen, and you can find us at lonelytardis.com, Lonely TARDIS on Blue Sky, Lonely TARDIS on YouTube. And I should get a
Apparently, you have
Twitch.
your own website.
Well, this is my Blue Sky, so I'm actually verified on the Blue Sky. This is my website as well, but I verified my name on Blue Sky.
Sky.
Yeah, that way
Wow.
it's my action. I don't have the .booski.social.app or whatever. Anywho, forget all that. We're here because Doctor Who hath returneth. It hath returned. We are what? Who? Huh? Well, we'll get into that. We are series 15, also known as season 2 of the latest iteration of Doctor Who, featuring Shudigatwa and new companion Varada Sethu. Let's get rocking and talk a little bit about the. I'll give you just a super quick synopsis, and then we'll go from there. So, Belinda Chandra is the companion's actual name. She gets abducted by robots, and we come to find out that her boyfriend at the time, or ex-boyfriend, or beau, when she was younger, had bought a star with her name on it, one of those silly stargazing things. And the robots come from that star, and they said, "You're our queen. Come on over. We're abducting you." Like 17 years later, they take her, and madness ensues. The doctor is there. He helps her out. We come to find out that the reason she was abducted is because the great intelligence, artificial intelligence, was actually her boyfriend that caused the robots to come get her. So that is the briefest of synopses. Doctor Who is back. The very first text I got about the show, about the episode, was Marcus complaining that they really need to fix the release times for for the episode.
They do. I mean, it's. I mean, let's talk about that before we get into the show. I mean, it's absolutely stupid that they have it up midnight here. Midnight with us, 3 a.m. whatever. People are watching it, and then there's so much truck put into. Oh, look at the ratings! The ratings are crashing. It's because everybody watched it on iPlayer the day before, or the night before, or whatever. And it's like, either put the show on iPlayer permanently, or don't. Put it back on TV. They don't treat any other show like this. So, and look, Disney can handle putting it on at, was it 1 o'clock
in the afternoon,
on the East Coast, and 10 a.m. on the West Coast. I mean, it's easy enough. It goes live everywhere. That's not exactly tricky in this day and age. So
it's a little better than what the previous season was, right? Where they launched it at like Thursday night at 9 p.m. Eastern time or something crazy like that. And the poor UK didn't get it till 2 a.m, something bizarre like that, right?
Yeah, it really is ridiculous, especially as the BBC is still hyping this as their premiere, sci-fi show, probably their only one. And then they have, big media showings where they have media viewings of the first 2 or 3 episodes, and it's like big red carpet and this. It's like, you know what? If you're gonna treat the show like that, you want to hype it up like that, build the momentum. And, Sean will, I think, agree with me as a PR guy, that you build the momentum and you build the momentum to peak. And you should peak at 6 p.m. UK time on a Saturday, which is when Doctor Who should go live everywhere in the world.
Mm-hmm.
That's when it will peak. The hardcore fans will tune in at that time. The not so hardcore fans will catch up with it whenever, people like Sean. Oh, come on, dude. How many times have I texted
he
you?
lifts you up.
Seen it yet?
He robs
Oh,
you up
maybe
like a
sometime
lovely
on
softball,
Thursday.
and then pop.
How about, I might watch it sometime before the Christmas special.
What the hell are you talking about?
You, I have a text. I have text chain to say, I haven't watched it yet. And it's like 3 days after the show's gone. In fact, it's 3 weeks after the show's gone live. We're on episode 6.
How does the saying go? The wave raises all ships, unless one of those ships is the Titanic, which apparently is what's happening here. That's going to sink.
I'm not calling John the Titanic. He's a lovely man. But I mean, going back to it, that's what if you want to build it, make it an event. Every every episode is event TV. Let's face it, there are less and less episodes. So make it event TV, pop it on at a certain time. Don't try to be like the streamers. You've got this deal with Disney Plus. Great. Boom. Have it go live on Disney Plus, same time as it goes live in the UK.
Mm-hmm.
That's it. Done. Then there's more interest. The views can go up. Those initial bump views. I was like, Doctor Who got 5.6 million, making it the most watched show. And it's like, that's iPlayer and this and that. And they're like, and then some of the stupid rumors might stop.
Yeah. Well, let's get into the actual show, the contents of the episode, as one might say. I want to hear from I mean, this will be an open discussion. We're going to be a little bit more loose cannon this season of Lonely TARDIS. Me?
Were we buttoned up last season?
We took turns last season. But I want to make this more of a
kind of like free flow the conversation.
Free flow and make it more of a conversation, like we're doing right now. I think this is
what before we actually do this on air,
like he always does. I mean, he's gonna talk and he's gonna talk and he's gonna talk, and the rest of us gonna be like, okay, yeah, I guess.
Don't worry, I'll just mute him. That's fine. I have the mute button. I can hit the dump
Two
button.
can play this game, Mr. Beer. You want to start
CCB a sassy bitch? I mean, I've got like a 5-minute diatribe, and that's it. I'm done with this bloody show.
Okay. Well, if you got a 5-minute diatribe, go ahead. Let's have you start, and then we'll chime in. We'll lob some shots in there.
Oh, okay. So a very handsome and generous individual recently traveled to the capital city of England called Londinium, and while he was there, he went to a comics type shop where they have awesome stuff called Forbidden Planet. And that person did bring me back this. Okay.
Ooh,
very reflective. What is that? What's going on there? All I see is Dolly's
I can see my reflection.
All I see is Dolly's face. There you
go.
There you go. It's a coaster.
Wrong one.
He's Dolly.
Oh,
God, we're off the rail.
There you go. Show it again.
Minutes.
Beautiful. Look at that. I'm here for fun.
That's beautiful.
All right. So that is a beautiful and generous gift. Unfortunately, there was no fun in this episode of Doctor Who. This episode of Doctor Who is right up there with not only some of the least inspiring first episodes. I mean, it's not Space Baby's bad, but then few things are. But it's still one of the poorest Doctor Who episodes in recent memory. And that's really impressive considering we're talking about Chibnall's era as well. The plot is stupid. I mean, wildly stupid. It's just, the character is already irking the shit out of me. The sidekick, the companion. Do we really? No. I prefer him. I'm just getting the stage where I prefer the Doctor when he's on his own. Christmas special was really interesting because he was on his own and he met himself and he had this, that, and the other going.
Yeah.
And it was good because it wasn't Shooty Gatwa trying to bounce off somebody else. He was just dazzled. And, again, not my favorite episode of all time, but that was a really, really good Christmas special. They seem to borrow a lot of the stuff from, was it the Doctor's Wedding? The robots look very much like the robots from the Doctor's Wedding.
Interesting.
If you listen to the voice, it sounds like the guy who did Prisoner Zero has escaped. Prisoner Zero from Matt Smith's first episode. And then, you've got this AI or Al or whatever the fuck he was called.
Al. It's not AI, it's Al.
Yeah, I mean, how about that for, again, so stupid. I mean, everybody could see what was coming, that it wouldn't be an AI. It is, it's going to be.
I didn't see it coming. Just throwing my hands up. Maybe I'm a little slow.
I was on drugs and I saw it coming.
Maybe that's why you saw it coming.
I had just come home from vomiting my guts up in the ER for 5 hours.
Because of all the LSD under your tongue. Yeah.
All the LSD.
It was ham-handed, ham-fisted, ham-footed.
Everything, all the ham.
It had more ham than a pig farm. And so, it had Shooty crying again. Yeah. Enough. People in the media are starting to notice this. You look at a Radio Times, which is a publication that's mostly BBC, but angled and has been biased towards BBC for years. Even said the Doctor cries again, because every fucking episode he's crying, and it's going beyond a joke. I mean, it's I'd say it was meme worthy if it wasn't pathetic. It keeps on,
they really hung on that shot of him with the tears coming down. Like, they really did.
I expected, that Indian guy to come and pick up a can of Coke and, put it in his bag from those, Native American person, rather, from those ads from the 70s and 80s about cleaning up America. Back in the day. I mean, it's trite and it's stupid. Shooty Gatwa absolutely crippled in this episode. To be honest, he seems checked out. Didn't seem himself. Not much life, not much vavavoom. He's been there, in this place for supposedly 6 months, and he's learned to do all this, that, and the other. And only now he's figuring out who Al is. But he's the historian, and it then, I mean, all the way through, it's just bad writing. And then the coup de grace, the Russell T. Davis coup de grace is, it's Planet of the Incels. Now, first of all,
Incel in this case, Planet of the Incel.
Again, something that was so freaking telegraphed. Again, ham-fisted messaging, lazy writing. If you want to see some intelligent discourse and writing with regards to the incel culture, look at Adolescence on Netflix. 4 episodes. One of the best shows of all time. Which leads me to the conclusion that, and I saw this in a review, and I've said this before, Russell T. Davis needs to stop making this for the family. He needs to make Doctor Who for Doctor Who. Sometimes it's funny, sometimes it's really scary, action-packed, suspenseful, whatever. But don't cater to a family audience, because if you especially catering to Gen Z, they've got no fucking interest. They spent $150 million watching a Minecraft movie that will go down as one of the worst movies in history. And I love Jack Black. I think he's fantastic. But I mean, let's face it, fucking Minecraft. What's next? PUBG the movie, starring The Rock. And
there's an idea.
It's just, I mean, Russell T. Davis came back to Doctor Who with 3 specials that
were terrific.
Every box was ticked. Star Beast, beloved story, great VFX, couple of plot holes, but it's RTD. Blue Yonder, really quite interesting, setting up things with regards to the end of the universe and this and the other. And then The Giggle, what a fantastic episode! 50th anniversary. And since then, you could probably count the number of really good episodes on the fingers of one hand. Christmas episode, 73 Yards, that's another one, which was a total Dr. Light one. And that's Dr. Lite, not Light, not the DC Comics character. But yeah, I don't know what Russell T Davies is doing. I think is he either spreading his time too thinly? Is he trying to cater to Shukigawa to keep him happy and his sensibilities? I don't know. Is he trying to cater to Gen Z, which is going to be a losing battle? Because everybody in the world knows that they are not. If they have an interest in something, they'll watch it. But you can't force them. They're buried in TikTok. They're buried in these almost like Max Headroom-esque blip foods from 1980, from the 1980s. So I had this conversation with you actually last week. I was more excited for Black Mirror than I was for Doctor Who. I was more excited to see the finale of Daredevil Born Again than I was for Doctor Who. And my excitement panned out because those were stellar shows. Great season of Daredevil, fantastic finale. Great season of Black Mirror. I mean, put Charlie Booker in charge. Put him in charge of Doctor Who. That would be effed up and fantastic. But Doctor Who now just feels like a ultra colorful, over the top Candyland caricature of what it was. And we know what's coming. We've seen the trailers. Oh, I'm animated. Oh my God, how old is that cliche? I mean, it's really just, it's disappointing. And, you know, Sean's got some interesting things to share from his, Reddit threads. He's got some interesting...
I don't know if we have to go down that rabbit hole.
No, we do.
The Reddit hole, yeah.
I actually think this is a damning indictment of where Doctor Who is right now. And I was so happy when RTD came back. I was so happy when those three specials. But the writing and the Doctor and the companions and everything has just failed to ignite. I mean, it's like he's gone to run as far away from Chris Chibnall's universe as possible, which is understandable. I mean, talk about toxic. That thing had measles, much like most of Texas. So, you know, I can understand the reason to run away, but you can still do Doctor Who. It doesn't have to be bright, shiny, and farty, and you know. I mean, it's that's all I've got to say on the episode. It thoroughly disappointed me, to be honest with you.
Is there anything you liked about it?
No, the companions are fucking annoyance. I mean, you have two of them because Ruby Monday, Sunday, Tuesday, whatever her name is, she's coming back as well.
Yeah.
So in a double dose of absolutely pointless. Ruby Sunday shined on that 72 yards episode. Great. But she's done. Ship her off. Kill her off. Kill them both off. Give the Doctor a season off. Because let's face it, we've gone from Donna Noble to these two characters, and they can't even hold a candle to Donna Noble on her worst day. And that's the thing. The RTD went from writing a really good, non-annoying companion author, starting with Rose, who is iconic in the Doctor Who canon, to just giving us pap over and over again, like he's got to tick a box. I'm tired of the box ticking. Obviously, Doctor Who can tell us a story. Obviously, Doctor Who can give us a lesson in things. It's been doing that since the first episode. That's what the Doctor does. He's a doctor. He's a teacher. Great. But everything right now it's as unsatisfying as a McDonald's meal. And that's all it is. This is fast food Doctor Who, and it's not good.
Whew, that's a lot to take in.
Sorry, you asked.
No,
I told
glad you went first. Yeah, no, it's good. It's good.
Seems like that might have been cathartic.
And that's okay. I think that's what this podcast is all about.
I mean, obviously, please disagree with me, prove me wrong, counterpoint me, whatever you. I mean, my word is not law, and I'm not grumpy because Doctor Who is back. I'm actually more disappointed with the finale of Daredevil, and I have to wait till next year for a real. So
you don't. Yeah.
But if you haven't seen that, I'm not gonna.
I have, but we shouldn't talk about it here.
Yeah, Sean, it looks like you're leading into
no,
something here.
don't. We're gonna free
No,
flow. We're just gonna riff. We're gonna.
Oh yeah, we're gonna riff.
So he just earthquaked. He cratered everything. So I'd like to see if you're gonna dance on the edge of that or dive right in.
Because cratered everything. I think RTD may have cratered a few things. Because
I
didn't like
the vibe. Is like
no, I didn't like this episode very much.
Okay, that's fine.
And it's not necessarily the plot. The plot was very safe. It was a very safe Doctor Who plot. Nothing spectacular, which is okay. I don't think you need to do every single plot, as being something completely wild and different every time. That's fine. There are new viewers coming in all the time. Very safe plot. I felt like there's been this growing, we've talked about in the past, this growing thing of RTD really wanting to be on the nose with topical issues, right? But I think to the point now where he's gone almost beyond like the issues that he's bringing up, the incel stuff, the a bunch of other things that were in this episode and other episodes. That stuff is like, okay, it's almost old hat. Like it's not that the stuff's not out there, it's that it's not original anymore, right? It's like he's going back to the same well for of public consumption over and over and over again for aspects of these stories. It's like, okay, we've seen this in your shows in the past or better shows or whatever. So you don't need to go back to this. So I felt that because he really kind of pushed this, oh, it's the boyfriend, haha, got you again. That was it just wouldn't click with me. I just, and then that I think made the grand reveal at the end made it seem less interesting from that standpoint.
It's undercooked.
Very undercooked.
The whole episode could have used, and I don't agree with all of the negativity that all the negative points Marcus had, but the episode could have used at least 15 more minutes, at least. I was talking to my wife because we watched it again before this podcast, and you could have split this into 2 parts easily. Yeah, sure. Easily. And really I think that was the problem. And you mentioned the social issues and the tackling on the nose and stuff. Excuse me. Going after the incels, make jokes about incels, that's fine. I don't think anybody is going to be opposed to that because those people can. But it was just all half baked, and there was really, we saw him for 30 seconds in the beginning of the episode. Yeah. Then we see him. We get maybe 90 seconds of context, time rip, pulled to the future. Oh, look, I can control everything, and it turns out he was a dick. Okay. But there was no other build to that at all. And we don't even see enough of this planet. Like, we don't know what's happening with these people. No, we see nothing of the people. Yeah. Val pointed this out. They get together at the end, and it's like handsome Mc T-shirt guy and the 2 others from the army of rebels, and they're like all teary-eyed and proud and everything. And she goes to me, she's like, are there only like 5 people on this planet? Like, and it's one of those things that, right? Yeah, and it's one of those things where if they had more time, or they gave this room to breathe, broke it into 2 parts, like they may have done back in the day, then I think we could have spent a first episode with her rip through time, meeting the Doctor, seeing this planet, seeing how the rebellion all started, and then the second episode they have your cliffhanger. It's the boyfriend, then you get the backstory of how all that went bad, and it feels like. Man, you said fast food who? Now I can't get it out of my head. But yeah, essentially it feels like wham, bam, wham, bam, wham, bam. Hit, like bullet point. I said there wasn't any good there, but yeah. To your point, like all of last season and this first episode have been these one-off stories, like one-off. They're not linked. There's no real big
like
just
overarching,
the little
just
tiny Easter eggy hinty
yeah,
stuff.
little
But then you
Easter egg.
saw
By the way,
how
we had
that went
Easter.
last
We had
season.
the Easter egg in this one at the very beginning with Miss
You ain't
Flood.
saying nothing or
Yeah,
whatever.
and she turns to the camera, and the whole thing,
You're right.
the simulation. But arguably RTD's best story was the 3-part anniversary special, because he told the beginning, middle, and end. And yeah, there were plenty of threads open and available, but he was able to flush out characters, and there was a whole plot that went through that. You're right; these feel half-baked, undercooked, rushed, fast food plots that we don't get enough into. I want to know more about the folks that are on this planet. I want to know more about the robot designs. I want to know more about the little dude who was, the little robot who is cleaning things up. We see him all for like 20 seconds and he saves everybody. So,
Yeah, Mr.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
we talked about it earlier too before I jumped on with you guys. Is like there was a really cool moment where the sequence where the robots can't understand the ninth word.
Yeah,
and that was really cool. That felt like sort
Yep.
of that Doctor Who writing you're like a tiny sliver of the Doctor Who writing you're looking for. You're being clever and whatever. That whole sequence could have been way longer. That could have been played out built up way better. She's processing whatever. But then as soon as she catches on to what's happening, there we go, rebellion time. Running, gunning, shooting, dying, and then we're off. And it's I don't know. I think the lack of 13 episodes, cut it down to 8 or 9 a season.
8.
I think it hurts.
Season 8, yeah.
I think that hurts. I really do think it hurts. I don't think standalone stories are bad.
Me neither.
But it's just a lot of it. And I feel like if we went back and looked at our notes from last season, we'd probably be saying the same thing for a couple of those episodes too.
Yeah.
Like they just don't have room to breathe. They don't have room to breathe unless Moffat's writing them, and then suddenly it's like, yeah, okay, this is actually pretty good.
Well, I mean, one of the best episodes from last year, the one where he stepped on the landmine. Who wrote that?
Yeah,
Stephen Moffat.
72 yards, in my opinion, one of the best.
Was terrific.
And what did they have in common? Tight, claustrophobic in the case of the mine one, and then you had Ruby Sunday as the main and only real character. Everybody else was sort of like getting old and dying and this, that, and the other, and she was just staying and just skipping through time.
Mm-hmm.
And again, it was focused on one character. This was just he couldn't decide, is this a Doctor Who story? Is it a companion story? Is it an XL story? And he went, he had 3 stools and he couldn't eat any of them. I mean, it was so undercooked it gave people food poisoning. That's how bad it was. You compare that to another robot-centric episode in Genesis of the Daleks, and just tell me how far Doctor Who has fallen. Genesis of the Daleks is just a wonderful, wonderful example of great writing, mediocre special effects, but great writing, great acting. And maybe the actors are not up to this. Maybe Ncuti Gatwa is not up to be Doctor Who.
Nah, I don't buy it.
It's nothing to do with his color or his gender fluidity or whatever. But when you're halfway through a 26 episode run, and we have 13 episodes next year, and that was the deal with Disney, or it's like we've got
it's this and it's the 5 war between the land and the sea. So this is the only.
I don't think there's a season 3 signed.
Yeah, there's no season 3. This is just the land between the war and the sea.
I think the land between the war and the sea is not part of it. I think we get to like 16 or 17 episodes and then they finish up. I mean, I may be wrong, but still, it's a waste. And like I said, if there's so much we can put on the writing, and the writing on that episode was just almost Chibnall-esque. It was childish. But you can also put that the much vaunted charisma that we've seen in flashes from Ncuti Gatwa just hasn't transferred. I mean, we saw him in the Christmas special when it was just him, and he actually kind of lit up a room taking charge.
Oh, I love their aspects. Yeah.
and you take him off the center, or and you don't have a strong enough companion who nobody knows, the show falls flat on its ass. This should have been the Doctor turning up, learning all about this particular civilization, and then all of a sudden this rocket ship arriving with this person.
I mean, more interestingly enough, I mean, like you mentioned, Sean, the boyfriend is in there for all of 2.5 minutes, 90 seconds in the beginning or 30 seconds in the beginning, whatever that was, and then a couple minutes at the end.
Yeah, no reason to like him, no reason to hate him, no reason to cheer for her. I mean, except for when he kidnaps her and whatever.
Yeah, but like, at this, I would have loved to. I think I would have loved to know what went sour in their relationship, and then him disappearing, that he wants her back later on. This is like basic storytelling that we're missing out on. And I know, like smart audience can infer. Like good shows are designed for like smart audiences to infer and understand and not have to spell everything out. But I consider myself on the smarter side audience-wise, and there's just cutting stuff out of here that is really necessary to tell a cohesive, not just compelling, but cohesive story. I think the part that really irked me, and I knew things were going to go downhill, wasn't like the original boyfriend stuff with the star name and everything. It was that the Doctor shows up and essentially kills off half the people in the hospital.
Oh, and that was amazing.
And you actually hear a flat line. Yeah, and you hear a flat line in the back. He's like, "Oops, sorry. I know you're probably in the middle of a surgery, but oops." And so it's "Whoa, what is?"
I have to believe he went back and fixed that. But yeah, no, it's funny, man. This Doctor is very cavalier.
Yeah.
He's
but they don't show, like they don't reference it. Like he should. I would have loved if he said later on. He's like, "Oh yeah, wow, I was looking for you earlier, and things got hairy, so I ended up having to spend, whatever." If he had just even mentioned it, that would have been great. But
they don't do anything. He was looking for her. Did I miss that?
Yeah, somebody told him to look for her. He's got a phone call, but he can't talk about it because it's timey-wimey.
Yeah.
And then, of course, there's the end of it where it's like, "Oh, the Earth should be here. Where is the Earth gone? Why isn't it here? Oh, that's been done before.
Something's blocking them from landing."
They go up, and it's like, "Oh, look, it's the Eiffel Tower and a taxi cab."
Yep.
I mean,
blown up.
A case of baguettes, some jelly deals, because somebody's destroyed the Earth again.
Yeah, that is for sure what I said at the end too. I was like, "Oh, look, we got that." But it's going to be interesting because last season, whatever his name was, the Egyptian god, wrecked everything, like the entire universe, the timelines, whatever. That was like as big a stakes as you get. So it's going to be interesting to see how they build up this threat to destroying the world again in the wake of that. But
I made the mistake of looking at the titles of the rest of the episodes this season, and I'm like, oh, okay, yeah, I think I know where this is going, and it really
they were
I
all
won't
listed?
get into it.
I didn't know they were all
they're
announced.
listed. Yeah. They were announced early on. Yeah. I'll drop it in the chat. But it's this has to go somewhere, and it's a very big cliffhanger to leave things on without. I mean, I know they're trying to weave in this idea of there's something's happening. There's a reason we can't go back to 2025. We're probably going to end up going back to 2025, and then that may be what leads. Maybe she meets herself or something, and that's what
they talked about the day in May, and that's the same day the season finale lands on. So
yes, no, it's the first part of the season finale lands on that day. Yes, correct. Yeah.
So there's an episode there that's obviously a gimmick one, which is the Eurovision Song Contest one.
Yeah.
And so Doctor Who might not actually air that night because
of their Eurovision song.
Well, no, it's not just that. It's the semi-finals of the FA Cup, which is a big soccer tournament. But the games are live on the BBC, and if they got extra time and penalties, they'll run late. They'll run into Doctor Who's time slot, and they can't run everything else late because of the Eurovision Song Contest. So this episode of Doctor Who might only be only
Online.
be on online, or it may be delayed a week. I mean, it's again this just piss poor planning. And why do we need a fucking Eurovision Song Contest fucking competition? I moved to this country to get away from that shit. You think I want to get Graham Norton and go, oh, look at me, I'm here, and then we're going to have Sweden singing, and then we've got Denmark singing.
12 points from the Daleks. 12 points from the Daleks. Let's
I'll be happy.
So really quickly, I want to touch on the.
Sorry, I'm watching Sean break down.
I want to touch on the companion.
You can touch whoever you want. It's a free country. Just don't get.
No, you can't. Stop telling him that. We keep getting in trouble. Stop saying that.
Miss Belinda Chandra, you said you're not a fan, Marcus. I don't know enough about her, although I know as a character because of how this episode focused on her as a girlfriend, which I did not appreciate. But she makes the quip early where he introduces himself as a doctor and she says, "Oh, I'm the nurse. We make a good team." I'm like, okay, yeah, I'm really on the nose with that one. But he mentions that, oh, I've met one of your relatives, 3,000 years down the line. Yeah, it looks exactly like you. And then that's it. They just kind of go on from there. But
Danny
I don't know. Yeah, Danny Pink. I don't know enough about her to really understand. Like there wasn't anything that got me interested with her character from this episode. Like I wasn't drawn in. At least Ruby Sunday, to me, we had her backstory going in. There wasn't anything of that.
So this is where I get to finally vehemently disagree with something, which is good.
Okay.
Because you left out the little on the nose doctor thing. Because before she said that, she gave him a dig where she's like, "Oh, figures, the doctor stands around while the nurse does all the work." I was like, "That's awesome. Here we go."
Yeah.
Got a sassy one. And that was the vibe for the whole episode, pretty much.
Yeah.
When she was like, "You just wait, dude. Like you scanned me. You figured out where I was in the future. You took my DNA without talking to me. Like, what the hell's wrong with you? That's not cool."
Mm-hmm.
This is a complete 180 from the doe-eyed, excited, adventuring girls, companions, girls, boys, whatever, that have traveled with him. She was eventually sort of won over because she can't, but even that happened because she can't go home, right? Like you're right that we don't know a lot about her personally. We got little glimpses and pieces.
Don't know her motivations really.
Yeah, but right now she doesn't have one because she doesn't want to be there. She was captured against her will by robots. She gets swooped up by this alien who she watched his previous companion die, which, by the way, I thought that was a nice twist. He spent 6 months with somebody who was very clearly his new sidekick and then gone.
Yeah.
You don't really see that very often. So I thought that was cool. And then she's like, "No, we're done. I have no desire for any of this. Take me home." Now, of course, she'll probably get wrapped up in it and she'll probably get all whimsical and like, wow, okay. I hope not. I actually hope she's very sort of independent and standoffish the whole time and is like, yeah, that was a cool, weird way that they broke through reality and to come out of the movie screen, but I don't like this. I'd like to go home. I hope. But either way, like we got glimpses of her. She's a hardworking, probably not very rich, very wealthy woman.
Yeah.
She has 2 roommates. She's working as a nurse in a hospital. She's tired. She's dated jerks. And she just doesn't want any part of this. So I liked that. I think that has the potential to be a very fresh dynamic. It's not Rose. It's not Martha. It's not even Ruby Sunday or whatever. There's a little bit, maybe you could draw a little comparison there to maybe Donna Noble.
To maybe a little Donna. Okay.
But it's way, way too early to do anything outside of like that kind of spark of personality.
Okay.
But I am hopeful. I am hopeful because it feels, that was one of the parts of this episode that actually felt different to me. And I feel like has potential to do something really cool this season. So we'll see.
I like it. I can appreciate. Okay, I can appreciate that. Yeah. I'm gonna wait till the end of the season as usual to really kind of understand what this.
No, I mean, look, we'll get there. I think we'll get there in a few episodes because remember, it was only episode 2 or 3 last year where we were riffing and we were just like, did we miss something? Like she went from the Christmas episode or whatever she met him to they've been acting like they've been together for months or years. And there was none of that development. It was just like bam. Yeah. Yeah.
So
So
to go back to your point, sorry, go on, please go on, Sean.
no. I'm with Dolly. Is like I don't think we'll need a whole season to make a final conclusion.
Okay.
Based on how this goes, I don't think we'll need more than a few episodes.
I like the idea of her not wanting to be there. I like that.
Yeah.
Sorry, Marcus.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, that's, look, I'm fine with that. I mean, but again, yeah, I mean, it's a bumpy landing, and it's not necessarily her fault. It's poor writing. And to go back to the whole, I saw your person who looks like you in the future, blah 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 blah. If you go back to the Unquiet Dead in Eccleston's only season, where they are in Cardiff and the Christmas Carol is being performed, and Charles Dickens is there, and the ghosts are in the gas, and you see the maid who is Eve Miles, and Eve Miles then goes to Torchwood, and they've met Eve Miles in Torchwood already. They meet her there, and then go on later on to the Dr. Donner episode, where it's like they're trying to connect to Torchwood and everywhere else to amplify the signal to send the Daleks off. And then they look at her, and then they look at Eve Miles and Gwen Cooper, and they go, "Oh, is your family from Cardiff?" Yes. And I was like, "Oh," and we're moving on. And that's what he does. That's what he does. I'm not absolutely defending it at all. It's lazy. It's cheap. And I'm beginning to think that Russell T Davies is fucking cheap. I don't know if he's trying to write a bunch of different stuff. We know he's off doing a couple of new series, but if he can't devote his time 100% to Doctor Who, he needs to do one.
Yeah.
It's almost like he's created his own trope that now he's sort of falling into.
Now he's
because I did say that too. I said it would have been nice if, and again, look, I'm a sucker for the mystery. I always have been. I'm not as much this season because I was so burned by last season's finale. But even I'm just like, we're doing this again. Like, it couldn't have just been a nurse. Not just a nurse, but like a random human that got sucked up into her own problems because of a rip in time. And we could have eventually found out it was the doctor's fault, or there's some future battle or whatever. But like, we had to do it with a future version of her, and he's connected to her, and he got a phone call about her, and she's going to be important. And it's like, okay. I don't know. I mean, I think this could have just been a nice time to just do a random Earthling from the 21st century or the 28th century, really change it up a little bit, make it a random thing, and go back to the Time Lord who is just in love with humanity and helps people because they have problems.
Yeah, they could. I mean, they could pull them from the companions from anywhere. I mean, look at some of them, Andric and a couple of others come to mind. But yeah, I don't disagree with anything you guys have said. It makes me kind of sad. But the other thing I would say is, do we really need a big bad every season?
No.
I mean, what about going back to? I mean,
I think it would be okay if it was all connected to the big bad of last season. If we are really doing like a council of elder gods or something.
Rewatching it was a bit of a disaster.
Not him specifically.
Apart from a couple of episodes, these shows are pretty much unwatchable as Doctor Who, much like the Chibnall era. A couple of episodes, the rest is just such dross, it's painful to watch. But let's go back.
Man, we'll always have space babies.
We'll always have the space babies.
I just want to clarify super quick, Marcus. I mean the pantheon of gods, right? Yeah. We had the maestro or the song one, whatever. We had the toy maker, Sutek or whatever was a dud. But if we can go back to that, and like these gods are part of something bigger and still connected.
There's still somebody that they're all working towards. It wasn't Sutek. Right. There was somebody else that the maestro and
then whatever's going on with
the god of gods.
Yeah,
and he's really pissed off.
Jesus.
But yeah, I mean, let's go back to the previous eras where we didn't need a big bad, and we had these episodes of Doctor Who, and they were way longer seasons. I mean, admittedly, 25-minute episodes, but they were much longer seasons. 3, 4, 5, 6 episode blocks. a year. And then, you'd have something come along like The Key to Time, which was not brilliant, but The Key to Time was one of the first ones where all the episodes were interconnected, and it worked well. And then, we had Eccleston coming back, and it was Bad Wolf, and that was obviously rushed so that he could have an out. But the Bad Wolf thing, really fucking confusing. I mean, still to this day, it's like Bad Wolf Power Station, Bad Wolf sprayed on the TARDIS, Bad Wolf TV. It just, why did she send all those things back? And it's silly and it's stupid. It doesn't need to be done. Give us something. Give us a solid season of Doctor Who. Don't worry about the big bad. If you're going to do it this way, give us a 90-minute Doctor Who finale every season where it's a big story and the Doctor gets pulled into something that could be universe threatening or whatever, but it doesn't have to be, Dalek.
Give me an introspective story where the big bad is the Doctor himself. Like he has to go through him.
The failure.
Like he's the failure. He's like, man, I've done this. I've been the danger.
The
failure. I thought I said failure, which is also.
I think I think we're all in agreement here that it's time to bring back the Ronnie. I think this is it. Let's go.
No, absolutely. Well, the other thing is I could keep on going back to the end of the Giggle, and we had the Doctor saying, Ncuti saying to David Tennant, you've been doing it backwards, rehab in reverse. I'm what happens after the rehab. Now you've got to go off and do it. And if this is what happens after David Tennant does his rehab, what the fuck did they do to him in rehab? I mean, it's a sad state of affairs. And then, we do have these, I know we're running out of time, but we do have these rumors that Mr. Gatwa's had it, he's out at the end of the season. He's filmed his regeneration. And
spoilers, in case anybody doesn't want to know this stuff.
Well, you know what? It's out there. It's out there in every Doctor Who site, the sci-fi site.
No, you're right.
This.
You're right.
Well, it's not even an Doctor Who sites. It's on every cultural site.
No, it's been
the Ncutis last year.
His saying this that he's had his head turned by Hollywood because he was such a huge part of the Barbie movie.
He was great.
Well, I mean, he's a very talented actor.
He's a very talented young man.
I don't hold any of this Doctor's. I mean, I think he's charismatic as hell. I think he's super talented, super compelling on screen. The writing may not be think him, as we've seen in the past with other great
with Jodie. Yeah,
it's a mixture of everything. But what I'm going to say is, if he wants to go, let him go. He was subcontracted, I think, for 3 seasons. If he wants to break contract and fuck off, he can do one.
I can't imagine.
That's my favorite saying. Go. But I mean, much like Eccleston, if you don't want to be there, there's the door. If you don't believe in what you're doing, there's the door. And I think this is where, unfortunately, with Russell T Davies, he cast this young actor who obviously, just viewed as a stepping stone. He doesn't give a shit about Doctor Who. He's not a fan of the show. And not everybody has to be a fan of the show. But it's interesting that when we've had some of the most stellar Doctors, like Tennant, like Capaldi, Capaldi shone, especially his final season, despite some of the worst writing he had to put up before that. But they were fans. They knew what they were getting into. They knew the genre. They grew up watching the show. Peter Capaldi had his letter posted in Doctor Who magazine in the 80s. So you don't have to be a fan of the show, but you have to put some reverence into it. You have to put some effort into it, and you have to put some commitment into it. And if you've not got that, fuck off. Seriously, it's a job that millions of jobbing actors, or tens of thousands of jobbing actors who actually are Doctor Who fans, would kill for and would love to bring an interpretation to the show. And no more stunt casting, because unfortunately, Ncuti's not delivered so far, and he has several episodes to prove me wrong. And I hope to God he does, because I want to like him. He had a good Christmas special. I want to see more of that Ncuti Gatwa, because that was the one that got me tingly. And then this, the trailer for this season just got me so yawny. So, what happened?
Mm.
Did we lose Sean?
Looked like we lost him. He's.
Did I
No. You were going. No, I'm sure he'll be back in.
I wanted to. If he's going to go out with a bang, give us several episodes that are absolutely stellar. Give us your best performances, because it feels like when it comes to the seasons in between the Christmas specials, he's phoning it in. And I mean, he may be totally badly served by the writing. I'm not disagreeing there. But I hope that we have more of him, because last season it was all over the place because of scheduling, and he was finishing sex education. There's no such excuse this time. They had a clean start. They didn't have COVID protocols. They were up and running and ready to go. And so far, the baton hasn't as much been fumbled as it's been tossed 30 feet away. So they have to recover it and bring it all the way home. And I hope they can. I want to be so sad when Ncuti Gatwa's regeneration happens, whether it's this season or next season. I want to be really sad and miss him as a great doctor, as opposed to my current state, which is going to be regret of what might have been.
So you mentioned bring it on home, and that's what I'm going to do right now. I'm going to bring it on home. And
I think Sean has something to say.
Yeah.
Well, no, I just want to. I don't feel the same way, or as strongly. I do feel. I was talking to Marcus a little bit about this before we recorded. I do feel like something is missing, like the it factor here of what makes him his doctor, his own.
Sure.
But I don't necessarily. I don't have the same strong anti feelings. I still think he's doing a good job in the role.
Yeah.
I just feel like something is missing from it.
There's no role for him. He's basically just turns up, cries, and runs around a bit. There is no character development. If you could tell me several, something. I could pick something from Matt Smith, David Tennant, and Chris Eccleston, and Tom Baker, and all these ones. I could pick something that stands out about those doctors. But so far, he's just not had the chance to really give us his defining performance.
That's fair. That's fair. He hasn't had,
because that Christmas special was way better.
Almost there. Right? Yeah.
And again, there were some gems last season too. But my point was, with the speculation, unconfirmed rumors, he's bailed early, the show's delayed, he's not going to hang around if there's not a third season confirmed, all that stuff, like that would suck. I hope it's not true, but there's kind of a lot of smoke which could mean fire right now, and things aren't being denied, and Disney's holding out before they renew a third season and whatever. But I do think it's a bit of a jump to make a lot of those sort of assumptions about whether or not he's a fan, whether or not he cares about the show, all of that stuff. I mean, we don't know any of that until we find out what is actually happening, like here behind the scenes, and we will eventually find out.
We will find out. Yeah.
You shared a piece in the chat where you said that he was a fan, and he's referenced his personal connection to the show. That goes counter to some of the things I've read, where it's like he said, "No, I wasn't a fan of the show. I really didn't watch the show." Because he was a gay black man in Glasgow, and Doctor Who probably didn't tick his boxes, so it probably wouldn't be of interest to him. So I think that information is a little bit confusing, whether it's your end or what I found. If he was a fan of the show, great. That makes me a lot happier. But I'm still waiting for the defining Ncuti moment. I mean, David Tennant, the Titanic episode. I'm the Doctor. I'm 900 years old. I'm from the planet Gallifrey in the constellation of Castorberus, and I'm going to save you all. Where's that? Where's Matt Smith raging at Stonehenge in the Pandora for the Pandorica episode, where he's raging against this untold millions of enemies? Why haven't we had that Ncuti Gatwa moment? Where is his?
Yeah, we talked about that last season too. We kept getting glimpses of it. We thought we were finally going to have it. Can't think off the top of my head what that moment was last season.
I mean, I'm a fan of Shooty. I like his energy.
Great acting. So talented.
I'm a fan of his energy. I think he's a great actor. I think the stories haven't been there, and I think again, the same thing that happened with Jodie, because you see their other work, and they're terrific in their other work. But I'm gonna try to keep us from going too far into the what ifs and the checkouts and all that kind of stuff, because let's just focus on this episode, because otherwise we're gonna be worrying. We're gonna be trying to make all this conjecture, which may or not be true, but then that can stay in the back of our heads when we're talking about this stuff. So
I will say, I hope it's not true. I really do hope they get their 3 seasons. I hope he sticks around. I hope he gets a chance to really define the role and grow more into it.
I hope Russell T picks up his fucking ideas and just gets together.
That's what we need.
Gets it fucking together and stop spreading himself. He's off to write 2 or 3 series, I think, for Channel 4 or Netflix or something on a mega deal. So why the fuck is he in charge of Doctor Who?
No, I don't know.
All right,
I don't know.
Let's rate this with the little scrubby robots. How many little scrubby robots out of 5 do you guys give this episode? I'll go first.
What they say? Polish
instead of destroy.
Or Roger.
I'm gonna give this a 2 out of 5, and that's kind of being generous. I don't want to go 1.5, but I'll go 2 out of 5, which is a very low score for me. I don't give ones. Sean, Marcus.
3. Sorry, 3.
3. Okay.
I have issues with it, but I still had fun.
Marcus,
big fat fucking 0.
A 0.
You don't say.
0.
Wow. Okay.
Horrible episode.
Woo.
Barely
Didn't see that coming.
Features to even get it at half. Huge disappointment. Let down by every aspect of it. I hope it picks up, or I hope Russell T decides to just walk away and we can get somebody else in, somebody with a little more imagination, because what was brilliant in 2005 to 2009 and was brilliant for Star Beast, the Blue Yonder, and the Giggle has turned into mediocrity. It's a fucking meme.
All right. Well,
I'll see you next week.
We'll see you next week. No.
Now let's talk about Black Mirror.
This is like when wrestling fans are like, they used to be, the product is such dog shit. I'm done. I'm not watching. Raw is terrible. McMahon doesn't know what he's doing. All right, see you next week.
See you next week, guys.
Oh, I'm gonna watch it.
I know you are. You're stuck.
We have this phrase in the UK for sports fans. Fans of bad teams. It's the hope that kills you.
Yeah.
And I hope Doctor Who's better next week, and I hope it's better the week after, and I hope we go on a tear the next 20 episodes.
Let's hope there are 20.
Are you saying Doctor Who is the England in any major tournament?
Well, I'm Welsh. Why the fuck would I call them England?
Yeah, Welsh.
No, I mean it's just it's where you've had a long-suffering team that
Hey, you tied us. You tied us in the.
You start off every season hoping your team's going to do well, and it's the hope that kills you as they let you down or disappoint you. I don't want Russell T Davis's legacy to be this season.
This is the season that I'm going in completely open-minded, because there are so many other good shows right now taking place. You mentioned obviously Daredevil, there's Andor, there's a bunch of other stuff. That Doctor Who is now one of many for me. I still love it, but it's allowing me to be a little more open as to whatever each episode will bring.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Okay, we're talking about that.
Doctor Who, because I would love to see the Doctor say, "Hey, Dalek, fuck off."
Dolly or Dalek?
Dalek.
Okay.
Who's writing this?
Charlie Brooker from.
That'd be amazing.
Who was a video game writer, a video game journalist for PC Zone in the UK back in the day.
Yeah. Oh, nice.
Yeah. Brilliant.
All right, gents. I'm putting it.
I
We're
was just
at
gonna say, if you want to watch a really, really great show that's about real doctors, The Pit on
Everybody
HBO Max.
talks
Watch it. Yeah.
Holy shit.
You want to watch
Fantastic.
a really awful show that's just really funny to watch? Dr. Odyssey on Disney Plus.
That's another one we've been watching. A lot of doctors. That's great.
Dr. Odyssey, okay.
And Dr. Octopus
folks.
is probably in a Spider-Man show. You can find us at lonelytardis.com. Lonely TARDIS
He was
on the
in the Spider-Man show.
YouTubes. You can find us all over the place, wherever you want to find us. Blue Sky,
What's a
YouTube,
sloppy cock?
somewhere else. Discord, yada, yada, yada. With that said, we will see
Danny,
you.
wanted us to free ball it. And trust me, next week.
At no
I'm
point did you
free-balling.
see that.
I am not going to, there's no balls that are free.
End
in
it,
this
Dolly.
episode.
End it. He's lost
See you
his
next
mind.
episode of The Lonely TARDIS. Goodbye.
Bye.